totally surprised by. But I do think that we're kind of jumping to the end of shutting it down much too quickly. So I guess that's my opinion.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Sarah, you're here. You want to speak to the board?
Yep, I want to turn this in first.
You want the rest of these, Sarah?
Thank you.
Anybody else have their yellow cards they want to turn in?
Right
I'll turn them in for you.
Mine, how many?
Good. It's probably because somebody took it off your mailbox.
I'm gonna take the long way around. Yeah.
With this talk of shutting the fire department down, it was made aware that, doing so, my homeowner's insurance is going to go up.
Right.
Are you guys gonna pay for my homeowner's insurance going up because you're shutting the fire department down?
There hasn't been any decisions made. I believe there was a discussion made with Mr. Van Buren when she started, that was perhaps the chief might walk out and take all the officers with him. So I think that,
My husband's not going anywhere.
well, I think that kind of forced the issue that we needed to check out what options might be available if that did happen.
Okay, so, why hasn't the sheriff's office been called yet? These allegations that are being made are felonies. Why hasn't the sheriff's office been called on them?
I don't think they can discuss it. They're not here to discuss the report or anything until it's done. When it's done, you can look at it and make a determination, but they can't sit here and talk about an investigation that's still going on. It's not fair to anybody.
Well, it's not fair for everybody around here to have to worry about if their fire department's gonna be shut down.
That's exactly right, but we didn't say it was, so.
Oh, but you're going to other fire departments and speaking to them, to contract with them.
Once the investigation's done, the report, then you can look at it and people can make their judgments. That's what I'd recommend.
I mean, as far as the word that there was gonna be a decision made tonight, there is no decision gonna be made tonight because we don't have a report to even review at this time, let alone digest and receive legal input about what the content of that is, or maybe there won't be anything in it, and then it'll be all for naught, and there won't be any further action required.
So, and then am I getting my tax money back for the money wasted on the investigation? If there's nothing in it?
Yeah.
Your tax money back?
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think it was a waste of money. And that's my
But
personal
you don't
opinion.
know that because you don't know what's in the report.
That's exactly right, I do not. I know I was interviewed, I think probably all the board members were interviewed, so.
But the allegations against the person or persons, have you spoken to them?
No, I haven't, and I don't know what the allegations are.
Why don't you?
Really?
Why don't you? You all should know it.
We probably will when it wraps up, but at this time, it's not to be hand-fed or led by any of the board members on, well, hey, take a look at this, hey, take a look at that.
Well, just like it says in this card.
Well, we didn't
If
write
it's-
the card, we didn't send the card out.
I know,
so-
but if the teacher does something in school, they don't close the whole school. They get rid of that teacher.
And if the report
Why punish
identifies,
everybody for one person or two people or three people?
Why
You
put
know
everyone's life on the
who
line
these
for it?
people are supposed to be, that is a bad apple. We keep hearing that from the fire
So
department.
why is there no
We have not heard a
monitoring?
name. We have not heard a
You have
name.
not heard anything from the fire
Why
department,
is it
correct?
all?
No, we haven't heard from anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
I will let you know, no active firefighter has been investigated by the investigator.
Then what's this all about?
I would like to know that myself.
So what exactly are we paying for?
Yeah,
May I
thank
ask,
you.
yeah.
may I ask how the advocate got a copy of Mr. Riddle's report with those statements in it? How, if you
It's a
haven't had
public record.
meeting,
There's
if it's just an investigation and it hasn't finished,
there's two reports.
Mrs. Gall, the
Okay.
first report was the overview report. Go ahead.
Right, the first report was the overview report. When that report came out, there was allegations in it. That's what the newspaper picked up, okay? That led to the prosecutor's office saying, you need to take it a step further, because if these allegations are true, if they are, you can't ignore it. You have to act on it and do something to protect everybody in this township.
Then the sheriff's office should have been called when those allegations were made.
And I would like to clarify something. This first overview was under the disguise of trying to improve relationships between the fire department and the trustees. So you can see where we are at today.
It's called an efficiency
After
report.
the fact, this report comes out with all these allegations, some of them potentially being criminal, and yes, the sheriff's office has not been called.
Why not? Why hasn't the sheriff's office been called? These allegations have been made, why haven't they been called? Isn't it not their job to investigate crimes?
Once again, I don't think they can comment on the investigation, the investigation's proceeding.
Why aren't they doing the investigation if there's a crime?
Exactly.
Yeah, if it's a
Or a
crime.
potential crime.
Exactly. They're not paying, we're not paying $10,000 or any of our tax money when they're investigating it for free.
No, we are paying.
Oh no, we're paying an illegal investigator who doesn't have a license from the state of Ohio, who's being investigated by the state of Ohio for practicing illegally, instead of calling a sheriff's office.
Or an attorney general's office,
Yes.
or a county prosecutor's office.
Right.
Oswald, maybe he's passed the buck by involving this other person, getting the heat off him. I'm Diana Farley, by the way, and I'm a resident of Madison Township. And I'm here today because I support this fire department. I don't
I do
care
too.
about anyone's moral issue, their core values, their ethics, nothing. On September 13th, when my husband was in cardiac arrest, and I dialed 911, and these wonderful people came to my rescue, I will be forever thankful. That I am a retired registered nurse from the state of Ohio, and I saw everything being handled well by this fire department. I have a son who's a captain in a fire department in the state of Alaska. It means something to me that the first responders are willing to give their lives in jumping a fire or do whatever I need them to do to save my life or a loved one.
For free.
For free.
Amen.
And I'm ashamed of this township for not at least giving these young men a wash machine. And every time there's a fire levy to be voted on, I'm up and down that road supporting a fire levy.
We just
And here's-
asked for 'em.
Right, and here's $10,000 going out the door, and we can't buy a wash machine? That's pathetic, people, pathetic. And our family helped establish this fire department, Bill Warner and George Boylan. Let's remember them today. Two brave men, they've gone on to be with the Lord, but without those two men, this fire department wouldn't be here today, we wouldn't be having this argument, and I'm ashamed for all of us.
You know, on April 1st, 2014, my daughter, who was 3 at the time, was in the back seat of the car with me. I was driving down Brownsville Road. A car pulled out in front of me. I T-boned her. I called 911. These firefighters and EMTs and medics had been running their butts off all day on brush fires. They came within minutes of me calling 911. Put yourself in my shoes. Put yourself in that car. Put your child, your grandchild, in the back seat of that car. Now, and you shut the fire department down and you call 911 and you're in that accident, you're going to be waiting a while. And it could have been a lot worse than what it was.
I would like to say something. I lived in Toboso. I grew up in Toboso, and my grandfather had a massive stroke 2 years ago. The fire department out there in Toboso, when they came to help him, they had no clue what they were doing. They had to call this fire department to meet them alongside 16, and they picked up 2 of these fire people to help along the route to go to Lincoln Memorial. He's alive, but it was one of the massive strokes that he had. And the next thing I'd like to tell you is I live across the street. My children, I was terrified when we moved in here because of the fire department. My children have grown to every time they pull in now, they get so excited because they know they're going to save somebody or they know they're going to help somebody. So I think that it's absolutely ridiculous that you're going to shut something down that's this close to somebody that to help people.
Excuse me, I know emotions are running high, but have any of you said you're going to shut down the fire department?
Not yet.
Nobody has.
Okay, so this is kind of right
Nobody has
now,
said that at all.
a bunch of assumptions, people
Well,
understandably being emotional.
It's ridiculous that we're spending
understand, but
$10,000
maybe-
on an investigation
Right.
when we can't buy a washing machine.
Right, amen.
Don't
Well, but
sidestep
but
the
that's a
issues.
whole different issue. Do you support a fire department and local EMT? Do you personally?
Yes, I do. I've given
Okay.
money to them.
Okay.
I gave them a washer
How about
myself.
you? I'm sorry, Jody's your name? Do you
Yeah, they had
support
a washer.
the
I
fire
gave it.
department and a local EMT? Local?
Let's give them top of the line.
It's what I
Karen?
have.
Do
Aren't they
you?
grateful enough?
So you all support the fire department?
Yes.
And you all support the
I took
EMTs?
EMT training. I was
Okay,
one of the
so
first
let's
paramedics.
just, I just think that needs to be made clear, so that this is not a fight, okay?
We are not the ones that sought out coverage for this township.
They went to local,
Okay.
other fire departments
Make no mistake
asking
about
for
that.
this.
We
But-
didn't create this.
But,
They said it was an option last meeting also. They said it was an option.
Especially Karen.
Why would you have it as an option if you weren't considering
There's
it?
all kind of options out there right now.
right,
Jumping in the
because,
river.
Not just,
because the facts aren't in yet, and so you
That's
don't know which way to go,
yeah, they are not.
right, so let's
Let's
just kind of chill out a little bit on this emotional level, because I don't think you're going to get anybody in here who's going to say, I don't want a local fire department, or I don't want a local EMT. I think we can all agree that's what we want, right?
Well, if we did, we wouldn't be spending $10,000, would we?
Why
No,
would
I don't
Karen
think that's-
go to
I
I mean, let the
Twitter and
government
ask
officials
them
do
to
their
cover?
jobs.
But I don't think that's the issue. I think the
That is the
issue.
issue.
It's an issue with me.
No, I don't mean that,
$10,000
honey.
going out of
I don't
here.
mean that. I mean, the issue of the investigation
It's illegal.
is a whole different thing than we want to do away with the fire department.
It's all
See?
together.
And I don't,
Yeah.
though we'll have to agree to disagree.
I guess we will.
We sure do. There's more
But
people
I
disagreeing
think-
than
Don't
agreeing
touch
with.
me again.
So you might as well sit down.
And you're an EMT?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
That's,
You're just adding to it.
Please, let's try to stay respectful no matter
Yeah.
which way you look,
Respect, woman.
okay? Just,
Have some respect for her.
She wants you grab her.
Why
Yeah,
not?
I have a
I don't know her.
poor thing.
Well, we don't know you, why are we
she's,
respecting
she'll
you?
tell you to keep my hand off of her.
I have
Don't point
a
on
fire
her.
department,
You're making it personal.
other people, we've had them, I've told them
All right,
several
listen
times.
here, Jack, I can fix
But-
this.
I think that this thing is, I don't know what it's all about, but it should never have got to where you hire somebody to take care of your problem. You people up there are the problem. You should take care of the problem. If you can't take care of it, then you should resign. That's the way I feel about it. And I think too, that the problem, get 2 or 3 people in the community that's not involved and bring the fire department or whatever it is, and everybody sit down around that table and don't leave until you got it resolved.
You know, when you go to court, you go in front of a magistrate instead of a judge first, because they try to work it out. Why can't you do, mediator, why can't you do that? Instead of paying this guy all this money.
Did the trustees ever sit down with the fire chief and with the road chief to see what the problem was and if it could be resolved before we hired Mr. Little and Mark? Did you guys ever sit down with these guys and talk with them and say, we have an issue and we need to deal with it?
Let me remind you, he was hired to do an efficiency study.
Well, my thing is, if I've done something, or somebody that I work around has done something to me, my first place is to go to the person in charge. Don't bring somebody from outside, and if I don't have enough guts to stand up and tell you what happened to me, then it's not important, evidently. And my thing is, why should somebody else come in here that has no idea what goes on? The heads have never been told what is happening, and everybody wants to keep it hush hush. You know, if the captain of this place, and he has someone working underneath him, and that person can't go to that captain and tell him, then there is a problem, but it should be resolved within before you bring somebody from outside in.
May I ask a,
I got something to say. There's that, my name's Ryan Hardy. I'm from Port Klein.
Thank you.
I'm a volunteer firefighter myself. And I've been what you guys have been through. I'm about to move down here into Madison Township, hopefully to be on with Madison Fire Department. Because what these guys tell me about the chief, the captain, lieutenants, my God. You know what, I'd rather apply this place and work over Hanover or any other fire department. No, all I'm saying is, when I heard that this fire department was going to go under, it brought me a shock. As a volunteer myself, I can't imagine what these guys are going through, especially the chief, the captain, and the lieutenants. And hopefully that this place is open when I move down here, because I want to be on this fire department. I want to serve and help and protect these great people of Madison Township.
I like to praise this fire department. I live on Farley Circle and I have a neighbor, she's not there now, God bless her. She's in a nursing home because she has Alzheimer's. But I have called these people how many times, Decker? And you have showed up, you have been so respectful and taken well care of that 81, 82-year-old lady that was my neighbor. And for you people to even consider closing this, I think it's shameful.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
All due respect, do you think you guys could stop signing checks and pay attention to these people? Because I know when I'm distracted, I don't pay attention.
None of them paying attention.
what was the purpose for the efficiency study? What were the problems you were looking at? If you didn't already have kind of a goal to do something, what exactly were you looking at? Since you don't have a generator, you didn't have a washing machine, and
The generator we have is out there next to the building.
Does it work?
Procured. We don't know.
how long has it been sitting out there?
A while?
You got
Has
for
it been
free,
tabled every
too.
time it was brought up to fix it?
No, we've had people in to look at it.
You can buy a copy of that report if you want to know what's in it. It's 10 cents a page and Nancy can provide it for you.
What, in what?
The efficiency report.
I've got a copy, yeah. Yeah, but have you read it? It's not much of an efficiency report. Allegations, rumors, gossip,
There's no facts in
it's a
it.
public document, by the way, if anybody wants one.
Well, Steve Little didn't manufacture that stuff. It all came
There's nothing in it.
from
There's nothing manufactured, there's no allegations, there's no names mentioned. It says, I think this is happening, I think this is happening, you need an investigation. Then you need someone to watch over the hen house, which of course Steve Little recommended Mark. And so now we have two people watching over the hen house when the farmers are eating pizza, I don't know. But the bottom line is, you guys aren't doing it. You did hire two people to do a job that you should be doing. And my question is, the reason why I asked about the efficiency study, did you talk to anybody about efficiencies before this happened? Did you sit down with the chief and say, we'd like to take a look at how to make this better? And then after the efficiency study was done and the investigation was going to start, then did you sit down and talk with anybody as a township trustees to see if anything could be done before we start throwing money at this thing? And allegations and ruining reputations.
And accepting hearsay as evidence.
Did you sit down and talk with the fire chief about any of this previous to any of this stuff?
No, we did not.
First mistake.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Maybe it's personal.
Why? Exactly.
You've hired Steve Little to do this investigation. Are you monitoring it?
We'll get an update from him.
You just told us that you hadn't spoken. You hadn't discussed it?
We have not seen it or anything.
So you're not
Okay,
monitoring.
that's why I'm asking,
What
are
he's
you
doing-
monitoring
We're
it?
waiting for him to give us his final report, that we can review the whole thing.
So the answer is no,
No, that's what I said, no, we haven't.
you're not monitoring it. Do you have a copy of his time hours that he's put in? Hello?
Yeah, he's paid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can we get a copy? That's public record. I'd like a copy of his time sheets.
yeah, there is.
Okay.
There's somebody back here.
Yeah, so she's been waiting.
Yeah,
You started out with this efficiency, you really it doesn't sound like it was to mount anything. I don't know how many hours he put in. And there was allegations come out of the efficiency, but how long has he been working on this so-called allegations or investigation? How many weeks or hours, or do you have
He
any?
signed the contract the end of December, and he's working on it part-time.
Okay, and he's not talked to any fire department, doesn't sound like he's talked to any of the fire
I don't know who
departments.
he's talked to. Yeah, I know he scheduled some appointments with some fire department members, and I don't know who.
But you hired him, and you don't know what he's doing.
He
You're
should
paying
be
him.
reporting to you
Paying
some
him.
kind of idea what he's doing to get paid, in my book. I mean, if I was being contracted, I would send you, okay, and talk to these, or so many individuals this week. I did this. I mean, you get a paycheck. It's just not an open-ended, that's what he's doing. Doesn't sound like you know what he's doing. He's just putting in time and getting money. That's not, we don't have that, we're not that kind of township that we have abundance amount of money rolling out the yin-yang.
I have a question about his time. Chief Connor from the fire department contacted me and advised that him and Mr. Van Buren was asking questions about myself and Chief Decker's employment at the city of Newark. I'd like to know what it has to do with this investigation.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe you can have the opportunity to
Oh, I
address
will.
that to Mr. Little.
I will.
I have one question. You said that you spoke to him. He questioned you, correct? Mr. Little did? Did he read you your rights? Your Miranda rights or your Garrity rights?
It's not a criminal investigation.
You said it was.
Yeah, you said it was.
Yeah.
You did. You said it was criminal.
Did he read you your rights? If he is a licensed investigator, like you said he is,
That
did
was discussed with the prosecutor.
He is a human
There are no
resource
rights
person.
required to be.
are you sure about that?
Individual, well, that's what the prosecutor's office told me, so the attorney that represents me, so.
He should check into the Garrity law since we are a government agency.
I'm pretty sure he's violating people's rights.
Steve Little is a human resource person.
He's not hired here as a human resource
But
officer.
that's what he is.
No, he's not. He's
He is an
contracted.
investigator.
I know.
He's contracted.
He's contract investigator.
Yep.
Okay.
He is not a human resources officer.
I don't know who it is, but someone's back there.
You may want to pull up your RC right.
My name is Starla Scafidi and I live just right down the road. I've had to call these guys on more than one occasion. Every time I've been awed by how quickly they got to my house. I've been awed by their professionalism, their knowledge, and the fact that, you know what, these guys all really care. They don't have to do that. I've had to deal with people from other places. You don't need to know why, but they didn't act like that. These guys, they act like that because those are the people that they are. And I don't know any of you personally, but I'm gonna just come right out with the fact that I've known Mr. Decker my whole life and his brother. I also know Chad Deal my whole life. And I know they're men of integrity. I know that they're selfless. I know that they are dedicated. And I know that they've gone above and beyond at every opportunity to be the best that they could be at this. And I also know that they've got multiple awards because they have proved over and over again that they do this better than other people. That said, because I'm friends with them, I happen to be privy to some social media buzz that went on not too long ago. I'm just going to bring that up because it's something that's been on my mind when I knew I was going to come and hear all of this. It was about the helmets that from the history of this place, the guys are given their helmets at the end of their use, so whatever that means. I don't know that you can't use them forever. Or, okay, and so I know that there was a lot of hurt feelings over that, and the guys felt like you guys don't really care about them and the job that they do. And I know that myself that I agreed with them that it sounded like nobody cared about them. And then I also know that there was some backlash from some of you, or maybe not all of you, but a few people that you seem to be upset that they had mentioned any of that on social media and that nobody needed to be made aware of that. And now at this point, with all of this going on and the fact that there are allegations, but there aren't allegations, there is an investigation, but there is the possibility that the department could be shut down, but we haven't said that. I can't help but wonder at this point, it sounds like a witch hunt to me, or like you're looking for a reason because they already upset you. And again, that's just my opinion. I'm not calling anybody out and saying that's why you're doing this. But to myself, and I'm sure to probably other people that are in this room right now, it kind of seems that way a little bit, like it's a witch hunt. So I'm very interested in seeing this report and finding out how you guys deal with the information that you have. I have a child. I'm getting lengthy, I'm sorry, but it is emotional to me. It's very emotional to me.
Emotional to all of us, I think.
I have a child who's 13. He has 3 rare diagnoses. At any given time, I could require the services of these fine men and women in life and death circumstances. Well, I want you to know, because I've seen how they are, how they respond, how they do their job, I sleep better at night. Even though I know that that could happen to us at any time, I sleep better at night because I know I can count on these guys. And I know that I can depend on them to take care of us. Literally right now, I could probably use a Xanax. But I'm really concerned because you guys are saying that this doesn't matter yet, but yet the allegation's already been made in the newspaper that it could possibly close, and I'm already not sleeping good at night, wondering what's going to happen to my baby if I need them and they're not here because you guys decided we don't need them. So I don't understand, and I'll be very interested in seeing what you all have to say when all the interview process is over. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. My name's Tyler Bates. I'm the captain of the police department, and I'm just confused at why there's division with the fire department and trustees. I mean, why wouldn't you guys go chain of command? Just say, we follow chain of command. I know if there was division in our police department, I would address the chief, and we would address you guys with council. We're all on the same page. I'm confused at why this division's even going on, the way you went outside, and why the chief's unaware of anything that might be going on. Because I deal with criminal citations and studies and things like that, so I'm confused at why you got an outsider.
I think they just hired a consultant.
For what, I'm confused with how criminal allegations are not, that's where I'm confused. There's gotta be some totality of circumstances that happen. That's what they're saying. They're not saying that it is criminal, we're not saying it isn't criminal.
But wait, they didn't go to the chief and talk to him, and they didn't go to the road crew supervisor and talk to him. So they're not doing a chain of command. They're the bosses, they're not talking to the other bosses.
That's all I'm asking, why there was even, this was pursued outside. Is there something to do with Zoom?
No, he's in Alabama.
Are we not gonna answer his question?
They haven't answered mine.
I don't think it's a secret that either side doesn't particularly communicate well with the other as a trust issue. So I mean, I think that's
two-sided. I think it's the fire department and the trustees.
Yeah, I think it's both sides. And I'm not suggesting that the social media posts were appropriate. I can understand the passion behind it and the personal effect of it, but that does not justify a reaction, of the same, just because one person does something that maybe they shouldn't have done is not a good reason for the trustees to do something to counter that.
I can honestly tell you, I am not literate with Facebook and stuff that. I don't do any of it. I'm lucky to email. So what's been on there, I don't know. So I'm not, and I'm not going to do Facebook either.
It doesn't make any difference who does Facebook or who does social media. When you make a point of something you're doing, in this day and time, whether it's right or wrong, it's gonna go out and it's gonna be exploded. That's why I don't understand why, if you all had something that you thought was wrong, why didn't you bring the fire department, the boys that work here and the men and the women in here and talk to them and discuss that with them before you hire somebody else out?
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, that's a waste of my tax dollars that I'm paying for this fire department. And if you can't resolve it as setting up there, and that's what you're all supposed to be, you're the trustees for this county and this township, and you're supposed to be doing that. You're not doing your job either.
Can we get an answer?
Paying 5 people for the job.
Somebody answer. You guys are answering no questions.
Nobody's answered nobody's question.
No, she did ask.
5 minutes ago, nobody answered.
He asked and she just asked, why haven't you pulled the fire department in?
Folks, my name's Tom Wolford, and I've sat back here in the back and listened for quite a bit, and I've been laid up for the last 2 years due to an auto accident. But I've heard two different things here tonight. I heard that Mr. Little was hired to do the efficiency study, and apparently that was done, for 10 cents a page, we can get public record, 10 cents a page, we can get it. At some point, he must have been hired for another investigation, but that's done, and you had a report for that.
Yeah.
It's not done.
The efficiency,
The
or now
efficiency.
he's looking into criminal activity?
Yes.
Civil.
Both.
How can it go from efficiency to the other without being two different things?
It is two different.
Yes.
Yeah, if it
So
goes
he
to.
was hired for the efficiency.
If he would find something criminal, he has to go to the sheriff's department.
Is the efficiency part
If he would find something.
Yes or no?
That's a good point.
The other question I have,
Yeah, the
Don't
efficiency
follow-
report's been done.
when you don't follow protocol and the rules and stuff, I'm gonna address something else tonight. I'm all for the fire department, but this is atrocious to have 70 people standing.
Right.
Well, we got a building over here that you can rent 100 chairs, we can pay $11,000, $12,000 for an administrator, we buy everybody else. Everybody ought to have a seat when they come to a meeting.
No, we gotta spend 10,000 on an
It's-
investigator.
it's-
And not get our
whoever was in
roads
charge of
fixed.
setting up the meeting there
A legal investigator.
should be talked to by you three. If it was you three that did it, then you need to figure out what you're gonna do for this April 21st, because you know you're gonna have a bigger turnout for that. And anybody in the last 2 weeks in the township that didn't know you were gonna have a big turnout tonight, somebody had their head in the sand. So, again, that all comes back to not having everything followed up and what
She
you're
ain't gonna
doing.
get to Okay,
Thanks, Tom.
Nobody's answered any questions yet.
No, this was comments from.
Okay, it's my turn. I just got home late Sunday night from being out of town for 5 weeks and got the little notice, so I'm not completely aware of all the circumstances. So, as Mr. Woodford says, there seems to be some friction between the two, and I know all of them, I've had some of them's children. I do want to say that when we have and I'm a teacher at Madison Elementary now, Making Valley Elementary, and I do want to compliment the fire department for how they come in October and do Fire Safety Week. They really do a great job with our kids and informing them and how to handle fires and things. So I do want to compliment you guys for that. I also am with Ruth that my neighbor has had to call in, and I can't say they were always here, and she was 84, had Alzheimer's, had health problems, and would be a little cantankerous more.
They never
And
complain.
they were always there, they never complained.
Every time I
They
call
handled her wonderful. Now, I don't know all about this investigation. Like I said, I just got here, and if I understand, you've done, what's the,
Efficiency study.
efficiency study.
They did it, he did.
And then this efficiency study came out with these other things from Rick Little. And because of that, Steve Little, and I should know, because he was HR for the city of Newark for a long time. So his report, I'm just trying to understand since I haven't been here. His report then said some things that were allegations, right? And then when I read in the paper today after I'd been gone, that because of that part of his report, we're now moving on because they are two, as Tom said, two separate reports. Is that what I'm understanding? That's correct. That's correct. And that you all cannot comment until the second one has finished. And you have talked to a prosecutor. And so you're waiting on it to finish. Okay, I sort of understand where we're at. But we are the township trustees, and I know I'm here because I wasn't fully clear of everything. I wanted to compliment our fire department and all the people that I know, and even the ones I don't know, for what service they've done for our neighbor and the fire safety. I just can't say enough about that. I do wonder why, since all of this has come out, you couldn't, and I know you don't know what all the allegations are totally, is that correct? Or you read them in his report, you just know, no names have been brought up, is that correct? Or the prosecutor has that from the first report, is that, am I understanding?
The prosecutor has a copy of the efficiency report, yes.
And so, why was the efficiency report ordered or done in the first place?
A lot of government entities employ outside companies or the auditor of state's office to come in and do a review of government operations.
So why did you think we needed that?
Well, she's saying that government and people require it, and I
Is it a
understand
requirement?
that.
Never been done before.
No, we have a biennial audit every 2 years done as required by law. The efficiency study is just a way to see what we can do to improve operations.
At the same time, and so you guys decided that it was okay to pay money for that, at the same time that you wouldn't approve a washing machine for these guys? I'm just trying to understand.
Or a generator.
Or a generator. Like, I'm not understanding. So it's not required by law for that efficiency test or study?
It's encouraged by Dave Yost, the auditor of state.
I was on here
That's a no.
about 7 years ago. We never had an efficiency test since I was on 2002. So why is you saying every 2 years?
No, a biennial audit
An audit?
of the financial records of the township.
So have we ever needed a report before?
Efficiency
I'm
study.
just, what's the efficiency test? What
It's a study test.
what is this?
Study.
How you can improve your operations, correct?
Get rid of you guys, that improve it.
Question. So you can discuss the first report, correct? The efficiency report, because you've reviewed it, you've discussed it with the prosecutor.
Yes, it's a public
It's over for
document.
discussion. Okay. So if it was an efficiency study that Mr. Little came up with allegations and documented it, and if it was truly an efficiency study, why was there a police report in it? If it wasn't a witch hunt, why was there a police report in it?
We'll have to ask Mr. Little about that.
I'm not asking him, you hired him. You've reviewed it, you've talked to the prosecutor.
We didn't tell him what to put in his report.
Someone gave that to him, we don't even know.
So what was his explanation to you as to why that police report was in there? Because I'm hoping you asked.
I hired somebody, I don't know what they did.
Right.
If it was an efficiency study,
Well,
was,
y'all enlighten us on what's really going on.
Yeah.
if it was an efficiency study, was there anything in this efficiency report talking about budget, dollars, or anything that you guys did? Was there, I mean, efficiencies are, you know, I'm talking making my house more efficient, I can put insulation in, but I'm also gonna take a look at my bills and things that need to be done. Was there anything in the efficiency study about the financial standings of the township?
I didn't see any in it,
I don't think I saw any.
but there's a police report in it.
Did you guys ever look at a efficiency study that Mr. Little had done previously? Did you study to see if he could do an efficiency study? Do you know if he ever has done an efficiency study for anyone?
That I don't know for sure.
So we hired a guy to do an efficiency study that we don't know anything about. if he knows how to do an efficiency study, and he didn't bring up any financial things in the efficiency study to tell us how to be more efficient, but he did find a police report.
And some allegations.
Well, kinda. We don't know who they were
Oh,
on.
yeah, I'm
we
sorry.
don't.
Again, who sought out Mr. Little? Who sought out his employment to contract to do this efficiency study?
He was recommended to us by Ken Oswald, the
Who-
Lincoln County prosecutor.
Who sought him out? Who sought him out? Who asked Mr. Oswald? Who asked him who could do an efficiency study? How did we come to hire Mr. Little?
In the first place?
Yes.
Why would you go to the prosecutor?
The prosecutor is our legal counsel.
Okay, who asked for someone to do an efficiency study? Did the board?
I went to the prosecutor's office.
Thank you.
Why?
Did we ask for a reason why you did that,
For
Karen?
the efficiency study or for
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, Gary, you're on the agenda and you wanted to talk under public comments.
Yeah, I did. I was just sitting back here listening to everybody else. I have a couple of issues I wanted to discuss. The hiring of Mark Van Buren as an, what's his title? Administrator? Apparently, there's no one in the township that's competent enough to perform that job. I find that odd, since there's a lot of people in this township that have qualifications to probably meet that job title. And would probably do it for a lot less money. And Mr. Van Buren is not even a resident of this township.
Maybe that's what they want, someone unbiased. I mean, I'm not taking anything right now, but if it's a township problem, I would want it unbiased. I mean, I don't know.
There's cronyism.
Ask his work history.
Alright.
I know the answer to that. Ask his work history, ask him who he's previously worked with.
There's someone back there with their 8 ball. I'm not done yet. I am not done yet.
Oh, he's not done, sorry.
More back here.
There is what seems to be, there is what seems to be a degree of incompetence in all this process. And issues that have been handled previously that I've been concerned about by this board have still yet to be addressed. We're throwing money at something that, did it really need to be done? Are there people that are criminally liable?
There again, no comment until the report's finalized.
I want the report finalized.
Well, we all do.
I'm tired of us wasting money as a township for some witch hunt that just is dragging on and on and on and on since October, I believe, correct?
No, the investigation didn't start till after the first of the year.
Well, we can't call it an investigation, can we? Because he's not an investigator.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
But you guys hired him to do an investigation.
When will the report be done?
What kind of money we got in the account anyway?
He wants to know when the report would be done.
We hope within the next 2 weeks.
So within the next 2 weeks, is he gonna speak to any of the firefighters on these allegations? Is he going to sit down and talk to Chief Decker? Or any of the other officers or the firefighters that are on this department?
My understanding that he's
He's,
scheduling interviews or.
right, he's the investigator, they don't tell him what to do, he's an outside person.
But they should be keeping an eye on what he's doing.
Are you watching him, Mr. Van Buren, then?
They already answered that.
He's contracted out and it's up to him, he's the outside person looking in, fresh eyes.
So are you Mr. Van Buren?
Yes.
Keep an eye on what he's doing.
Ask them
You look
how
different,
they
you look different
I have a question.
than on your Facebook
My name's
page,
Jennifer Brown, I'm a lifer.
where you, state that you are a politician, which I don't trust politicians.
I don't either.
Furthermore, have you worked with Mr. Little before?
Yeah, I miss it.
So this is a cronyism thing that you got this job with?
You know, I'm not gonna interact.
You know what, this is getting out of hand.
It's a fact.
No, it's just fact finding.
This lady wants to talk.
If your report comes through and you decide it indeed needs to be closed down, is it gonna be your opinion or is it gonna go for a vote? Because we voted to have you in, now is it your power to close it or do we get to vote?
We need to vote.
Because,
We have to
I mean,
vote.
I heard that I heard you're gonna close it down, but shouldn't I say something about that? Shouldn't I have a vote in that? Is it gonna be voted on?
I think probably a lot of it's gonna depend on what that report says, cause we
Well, I
don't
just
know.
wanna know,
I
if
mean-
it does come back as being, oh my God, we have to shut this down, are you gonna come to me for my vote? Cause you came to me for my vote, Rick.
I know I did.
I voted for you, but I will not allow you to take my voice away and shut down this.
We will have to see how the prosecuting attorney asks us to handle that, okay? That's the best answer I can give you.
So we all should call the prosecuting attorney and give them our opinion.
Pam's been waiting, hiding
That's
back
okay.
here.
When the report comes out, and if it does find that if you were a business, you would have to do training on sexual harassment, whatever, train those people, get rid of whatever, if it's a trustee causing the problem, or if it's a firefighter they need to be removed. Is there any policies or guidelines for these firefighters that they know? Have they had any sexual harassment training? Have they had any? I mean, they deal with people all the time.
And you already finished.
I'm asking some questions here. Is there policies and guidelines for these guys so they know what they need to do? I know it's volunteer,
Chief,
but
you
there
do
should be
have a
some type of,
Standard operating guidelines, your SOGs.
We have both a township handbook and SOGs,
Okay.
yes, and there are procedures for complaints. If someone would have a complaint, and sexual harassment is forbidden right in our SOGs.
so there hasn't been any complaints from the public, it's just so-called internal?
I have received no complaints.
Okay,
From anybody?
From
From anybody?
Correct,
not within the department, nothing.
correct. And there is a provision, if there's a complaint about me, then they go around each of the assistant chiefs. And again, there has been no complaint.
So do we train them with diversity training and everything? Do we do any of that? I mean, businesses have to have,
Correct.
do we
That's a
train them?
requirement by law.
We do not train internally. The majority of my officers work externally at full-time jobs with the public, and they do receive that training.
I'm wondering how we're gonna pay for this. I mean, if we've already paid, what, 10,000 and we're gonna pay more? How are we as a fire department when we don't have a lot of money? We're always, are we gonna have a new tax put on us to try to, where's the money coming from?
The money to fund the study come out of the township's general fund. It's not coming out of the fire department, or the road department's money, or the zoning's money.
But it would have been used for something else. Is there something
Or a
else?
generator.
You gonna answer that? You don't answer nothing. You just sit there, shake your head, no smirk. You guys don't answer anything. Everyone here wants to answer. Open your mouth and give us answers. I know, I'm waiting, we're voting, so we can vote you guys out.
Yep, well, this was comments from citizens, so thank you for your comment. Anybody else have a comment?
You still like
I
answers?
have one more thing to say. The drainage issue on Fairfield Drive hasn't been corrected.
There was a hydraulic study done last year on that.
Okay? Any action's gonna be taken?
That was by the Licking County Engineer's Office. And, I mean, are you having drainage issues where you're at still?
Oh, yeah,
When it rains a lot?
yeah. Comes in the back door of my garage.
Then it comes in the back door of my
It doesn't
garage.
come down to my creek? It doesn't roll down to my creek?
I don't know where it is.
They had an efficiency study done.
Off the gate.
Because it comes across the road. sir, what's your name? What's your name? I know where he's talking about.
My name is Rick Sexton. I live on Dayton Road, and we are the recipient of the water that flows down Fairfield Drive. That's not why I'm here. No, you're right, but that's not why I'm here.
It rolls downhill.
I've worked as a consultant for more than 15 years. And every invoice I ever turned into my client had hours and detail on it, and if it didn't, I wouldn't get paid. Every time an attorney submits an invoice to their clients, there are hours and comments. If you all have received no comments, then I gotta wonder about your fiscal competence. Because you've paid bills for which there is no support. Now, if Mr. Little has submitted to you detailed invoices, then it's public record, and you ought to be able to comment on that, and you haven't. Basically, Mr. Lammers is the only one that's answered a question. And I get, like my wife said, there's some snarky comments made. I'm sorry, snarky, I guess there's a difference. The point, I guess the other point I want to make is, you three decided that you needed to have an efficiency study, apparently, of only the fire department.
No, of everybody that's employed by the township.
Was the
He's had the
trustees in
right
the efficiency study?
Interview
Who?
everybody.
The trustees.
Okay?
No, the trustees
Not
were not
just
in
the
the
fire
efficiency
department.
study.
Okay, so
It's the
everybody
road,
but you.
it's the zoning.
Exactly.
It's the fiscal officer, it's the trustees also.
The trustees weren't in the efficiency study.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't see you.
it's in there.
Did you,
Well,
Melissa?
I saw where they were so brave for having the efficiency study. I did remember Mr. Little saying that
The
the
last comment I
trustees
would
are
like
very
to make
brave.
is, I have a hell of a lot more confidence in that gentleman over there in the white shirt
I've read it over and over.
to control our lives, which is what he does, he and all of his people, than any one of you three. I have voted for every one of you, probably for the last time.
I would like to make a comment that Jody, looking at the minutes, Jody voted against the efficiency study.
Thank you.
I have a question. My name is Tim Giles, I live down on Martin Road here. About $10,000, that's taxpayer money. Is that normal, that every 2 years when this biennial study, that?
It's never been done before.
This is the first we've done this,
And if
okay?
so, why did it have to be done this time? If it's abnormal, what's the abnormal?
It's the very first time this has ever been done. Other townships are being, required, I don't wanna say required, okay? They're being told, this is what you should do.
I mean, is all the surrounding townships also paying $10,000?
I don't know what they'd be paying. I know some would be paying a lot more, and I'm sure some would be. That's,
We have to see if they,
Tracy Ross is
if they have had efficiency studies also.
Question, the gentleman in the black shirt asked you guys a question earlier, and I didn't hear if there was an answer, or if there was not an answer.
There wasn't.
yes, there was.
I said it's an ongoing investigation.
That's all they said.
Yeah.
Ongoing investigation.
That they hadn't lied.
That wasn't the question, though.
I don't have anything to do with the investigation. Rephrase your
Well, the
question.
question was, why did you guys not go to the fire department or the EMT? Why did you go to an outside source? Can I ask that? I don't care what the allegations are, that's irrelevant. It's why you followed that instead of the chain of command that we followed. The military follows the EMTs, the fire department, the police. We all
Goodwill
follow
follows
the
it.
chain of command.
Protocol.
I'm just curious, you guys are the
My
head,
mom
why
did.
didn't you go?
Beat me.
I'm just curious of that, that's my question.
Are you asking about?
I'm not being
the first one or
sarcastic,
the
I
second?
just know if
I'm
I go out of line
confused.
to my chief, I would reprimand it and maybe fire. And I'm just curious why you guys didn't follow that.
Aren't you guys over the fire department?
They are.
Let
They're
him
over
answer.
there.
Let me answer.
If they
And
are.
I'm not saying you guys are wrong, I'm just curious of why it was
The answer is
handled
part
that
of the
way.
investigation. I think the answer is part of the investigation.
There will,
There's a reason why we
there
did the
will,
efficiency study.
I'll see.
no, it's not a way to get around it. We don't know.
That's all I was curious about.
We'd like to know ourselves. We don't know.
There was a reason why they did the efficiency study.
Rick,
We can hit rewind on this. You're ignoring all of them. No, we're
Rick.
not ignoring them.
Rick, I got a quick question.
Feels like.
Real simple.
I can't.
Hey,
We've got two gentlemen back there trying to speak, and I'm not being,
Nope, you're fine.
are you finished? I mean, for right now.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Nope. One of those two gentlemen back here.
Just a quick question. The results of the efficiency study spurred you to request an investigation, is that right? Okay. So the results of the efficiency study were important enough or dire enough to warrant an investigation, is that right? Okay. But not dire enough to hire a full-time investigator instead of a part-time investigator?
or call the sheriff's office.
Just a simple question.
We are going on what the assistant prosecuting attorney
Suggested.
has suggested to us,
Okay,
okay? We're trying to follow it that way the best we can.
okay. I'm not saying it's
No,
right or
no,
wrong, I'm
that's
just
fine.
asking what you guys
That's a fair question.
talked about.
Yeah. Doug,
Just a question, quick question. You mentioned the fact that the efficiency study was being conducted on all the personnel of the township.
yes.
Okay? Do you guys do annual reviews with each department to, say, hey, you're doing this, or you're not doing this, or you're spending too much, or you're not doing your job here?
And in all honesty, Doug, we have discussed that.
Well, it's a little late now.
Well, maybe for the next people,
Should have been done a long time ago.
well, we're gonna find out what should have been done a long time ago, maybe. I don't know. I wished I could sit here and say, this is what we've got to tell you folks. You know? So I don't know.
I guess my problem is if there's an issue with a personnel, why are we going to shutting the entire department down and not just taking care of the personnel
Okay,
that is there?
let's get it clear. We have not, in any time, said we are closing this department down.
It's an option.
We have said it's an option, and there's a lot of other options out there too.
But those weren't made known in the newspaper.
We didn't do that.
The newspaper
reports what Dr. Little did.
We didn't put out the cards, we didn't do the newspaper thing, no.
But they quoted you in the paper.
Huh?
But they quoted you in the paper.
Yeah, I did go back to and talk to Mary Ann. You know, they have different things that they do. That's why I went back there, and I stated that at the last meeting. That's how he got that.
What are the other options? I mean, that might make us feel, what are the other options? You're saying
Everything that
either
we've mentioned,
or.
everything from termination to training to reprimand.
Yeah.
I think
All those kind of things, just like any business.
But nobody's spoken of those options.
Yeah.
Well, they're not getting publicity because they're not as exciting as shutting down a fire department.
They haven't spoken.
Then if I understand, you cannot report on anything more until the thing. So this meeting is just for everyone to voice their opinions
Yes.
and question you guys. And I have lots and lots of confidence in the fire department. But I also have always had you all address my concerns. So I'm just caught, but I also feel you're waiting on that report before you can tell. A lot of these questions you've said over and over that he cannot answer. Maybe until that's done.
I wished I
And know
wished
it's
I
an
had it in front of me,
emotional issue.
and we could go page by page.
But,
We don't have it.
and
Is that what we're gonna do?
answers aren't needed, but
I'm sorry.
Is that what we'll do when we do have the report? We'll go over it page by page?
It's gonna be given to the prosecuting attorney first, okay? We won't even see it till he sees it. And then he will advise us.
So since you guys spent taxpayer dollars
Yes.
for this report, spend a few more dollars to scan the report and post it so we all have access to it.
If there's names in it. then
Can you call him and tell him that, get it done?
He knows we want it within the next 2 weeks.
You hired him, you're his
Yeah,
boss.
he knows. But with what, like I say, I don't know what's in there. But he keeps saying, I need some more time. You'll understand when you get the report. So,
And, you know, basically, it's your old asses that's on the ground, you know, on the fire. And, you know, the department too. And then it's putting, you know, our lives right there with them. And they've come and saved me quite a few times.
that's good.
And my daughter was on the department before she moved, and she wants to come back.
I'm gonna fall out and require your services here, please.
Yeah. It's hot in here.
Could you,
Can't you open that door? No.
in this, in regards to this report, would you give me a definition of efficiency?
Great question.
It's just, how we could improve our operations to better serve the public.
With their
In all
budget.
In all departments.
Including the trustees.
So are we
Yes.
talking about a
How many pages
financial
is it?
thing or a labor?
Here is the efficiency report.
How many pages?
There is not a review of the township trustees anywhere in this report. If you'd like it, I can pass it around.
How many pages is it?
A lot.
Well, the original one has 44 pages with Mr. Little's qualifications in it too.
There is a fire department review, a road department review, and a zoning review.
But nothing about the trustee.
No trustee review.
Nothing about financials.
And that is being conducted by the Auditor of State's office through an independent auditor,
That's what
Danny Phillips, in Zanesville. He has our records still, right? Is that still going on?
So we're paying for that too.
And we haven't got the final report back from them yet. And that'll be available as a public record. It'll be also posted on the state auditor's website.
But you hired this man to do an efficiency report. Shouldn't it be complete before you pay him?
Hey, Melissa, would you read the full title of the report? Read the full title.
Report for Madison Township, Licking County, Ohio. Review of organizational structure and efficiency, human resources and employee relations.
Okay, so there's a lot more to it than just efficiency.
There's still nothing in here about the
I know everybody's
trustees.
is focusing on efficiency, but there's a lot more to it
There is,
in that report than just efficiency.
there is, and while I would say,
While I'm talking, I might quote Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Better off to keep your mouth shut and appear to be a fool than you are to open it and confirm it." Okay? But everything you've read, the reason
Maybe you should take that advice.
the reason you're all here tonight is because you got this illegal postcard stuff.
I didn't get one. I didn't get one, and I'm still here.
I think the applicant had something to do with that.
Postal inspectors are on their way to Madison Township.
You should have your facts straight, because I did not receive one, but I came because I care about the men and women
I do too. I've
that
never
work
had a
here.
complaint
So,
about, I've never had a
you
complaint
know.
about the service at all.
I'm not gonna let you say that. You have scrutinized the fire department at almost every meeting, so you're not gonna get away with
But
that.
you,
We need to stay with what the meeting's about.
all the fanfare associated with this stuff
No,
is not coming from.
Mine wasn't put in my mailbox.
Tracy, I'm sorry, Tracy's been waiting. Jim, I'm not trying to be rude to you.
go ahead.
Tracy's been standing back there for quite a while.
Taking it all in.
Who's that guy who just talked to his kid?
Live on Plymouth Road. I got a question. If that card still legally installed in the mailbox, and there are authorities coming to see about it, who called the authorities?
He did.
He did.
I'm sorry, but they weren't actually put in the mailbox.
They weren't put in my mailbox.
My mailbox.
They were not in the mailbox.
They were in my mailbox.
It was like,
whether you value it or not, mister.
they were not in the mailbox.
America, First Amendment.
You know what? I see this, and I'm a township resident, and I taught school here, and I don't think we're here to make accusations. Everyone here has a right to their opinion. If it's for the report or if it's not, if it's for the trustees or for the department. And we're not getting anywhere by throwing these accusations out.
think we're getting the point of everybody's upset.
Well, but maybe there's people out there that aren't.
Fine.
But this is not civil.
I think I was
Tracy, he didn't get to talk yet, Jim.
Come on, Tracy.
Tracy'd like to talk.
Yeah, I'd just like to know, is Mr. Little not here tonight?
No.
Particular reason why?
Because he's not getting paid tonight?
I haven't talked to him, so I don't know why.
Will he be at the next meeting?
I would think so.
All right, I got one more thing, if everybody can quiet down for a second, I'm gonna leave. I just wanna go on the record as a former 20-year member of this fire department and fire chief and every other officer down here. That's really irrelevant at this point. I did offer Karen Barger my services for free to do this study. She took that into consideration, and we've already spent $10,000 on a guy that isn't here. So I just want everybody to know that. I mean, that's their choice. I'm not saying I'm qualified, but I think somebody that was in here for 20 years that knows the operation, not only of the fire department, but of the road department, and pretty much everything else, because I've lived in this township all my life. So I'm sure there's some legal ramification that you couldn't allow me to help with the study, and that's fine. But I never got an answer other than thanks for offering, I guess. So, you're welcome.
Jerry, you can hold just a second. Jim?
Another quick question. The report, you said it says employee relations right on it. Doesn't everybody work for you? Aren't they your employees, essentially? But you're not
Yes.
really discussed in the report, is that accurate?
In the report,
Yeah, or in the efficiency?
that has been, several of them have. I mean,
Oh, I know, but
yeah,
I don't think that they
and,
took
you know,
it.
at the meeting, we went through them when we got,
Yeah,
okay?
mhm,
Yeah,
okay.
and there is 44 pages of that.
Excuse me, I just wanna clarify that, it seemed to me, that he was just asking if you guys were included in that.
But
And
I
I didn't
read
hear
through
a
it.
yes or no in anything that you
And
just
I
said, so
don't
I'm
see
just
anything
curious.
that, suggests anything that you guys are doing requires any investigation. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but he has the right to investigate.
Okay, I
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
I'm asking that report specifically, okay? But in it, he's supposed to cover employee relations, and the fact that you didn't really go through your employees before you jump to, an investigation. I see a gap there, I'm wondering what your thoughts are.
Jim, I think when we get that final investigation, I think everybody's gonna understand a little bit better. You know, I don't know what's in it,
Okay.
but we just keep hearing, there's things, we're not allowed to ask them at this point because the investigation is not done. But, you know, I don't know what, maybe there won't be a thing, I don't know.
I hope it's substantial, he stirred up a lot of residents.
You hired him, but you don't have any progress.
Okay.
He hasn't interviewed the people.
Now, this gentleman hasn't, he'd like, go ahead.
Folks, I'm gonna make my little spiel here, and then I'm gonna leave. But, this is a big piece of business, guys, the township trustees and the fire department. And I can say nothing but praise for the fire department. I've had 2 major fires from '66 on, and some squad runs. I had nothing but praise for the fire department. I haven't had any problem with the trustees. It's only hearsay that I hear about the trustees. And hearsay is just, well, yeah.
What it is.
But I think this, folks, any business requires a good manager. You've gotta have management. And if you don't have management in a business, you just wanna get rid of it. Now, this talk here this afternoon, everybody, a lot of people got a chance to say some things. Well, it's not an organized meeting today, folks, very frankly, and I'm sad to say that. I'd like to see the president of the trustees, the chief of the fire department, I'd like to see those folks prepare a meeting, once this is all settled, that is final and fast, fair and honest and amenable to both parties and to the township. And folks, I think that's the only way it can be settled. You guys may not like me and I may not like you, that's all beside the point. But that's human nature, guys. I'd like to think that this lady here, the chairman of the board, or whatever their title is, and the chief of the fire department would sit down and really hash this thing out, and then their committees and their staff would come in and do the very same thing. And say, what are our problems and how are we gonna rectify them? And I don't understand all this efficiency stuff right now. And I don't think anybody really does maybe at this point. But I think that's the beginning of getting this thing rectified, getting a management team put together on both sides. And I understand the trustees coordinate things with and for the fire department, but we all wanna work together. You guys are the person in this room that I wouldn't do something for if you need some help, and I'm serious when I say that. So just for that sake, for saying those kinds of things, I think if you think about it, we can chew all night on this. But if you think about it, we need a manager here, we need a manager there. Those guys need to work out the details with their committees, and I think they can be polished up. You got a good community down here, folks. I did call our insurance company today. They're concerned about liability protection. They're not concerned about the insurance company dropping us. We're real estate zone, but they're concerned about rates increasing. And this is a major company, Erie Insurance Company. So folks, that's all I have to say. Thank you for the meeting today. I hope you can get a meaningful conversation together.
Thank you, Gary. I want to say something. My name's Brandon Taylor. I started on this department 8/8 of 05. Brand new to Newark and came here from Marion, Ohio. Okay, Darren is one of the best people I've ever worked for. I want you all to know that before I got on this department, it was strictly volunteer. Darren is the one that made you guys we did this part-time program where we worked from 8 to 4 down here. So we actually had paid staffing, available for you guys from the hours of 8 to 4, and then we also did our volunteer runs at night. So with that being said, Darren's actually made this department better. He's made you guys safer. We have amazing equipment that, we didn't have when I first started because of that man right there. You want to talk about fiscally responsible? That man right there. He has taken your tax dollars and turned this department completely around, okay? I've seen it firsthand. When I first started, we had a drop ceiling in here. It was like, there was nothing here, okay? I'm telling you, this department is the best in Licking County. I can say that with confidence. And know that even though this whole thing's going on, I feel confident in saying that we will be back on those trucks when that bell rings, okay? You guys can say, that, he said whatever, but I'm telling you, know that I can say with confidence, so rest assured that when that bell rings, we will be on that truck to come help you. Guaranteed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You ready to go?
Ready to continue on with reports? Van Buren, we have a report from the administrator.
You want to skip over that right now, do the fiscal officer, then we'll do the fire and roads and drainage?
Thank you.
Sure.
Here's a resolution. Yeah. Today, we need to transfer $5,000 within the gas tax fund for repairs and maintenance.
Sorry, guys. There's a lot of noise. Everybody speak up a little, please. We can't hear you. Thank you.
Take over.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we louder so we
Yeah,
can hear you?
still can't hear you guys, sorry.
K is a transfer for health insurance premium.
I think some of the hospitals to go to.
Okay. So we can find out. The bank reconciliation as of March 31st. Darren, do you have some outstanding checks?
You mean right to me personally? Gosh, I don't know.
I think there's 3 of them listed here.
I haven't cashed them yet.
Like fiscal officer says, yes.
I just haven't cashed them yet.
As long as you know where they're at.
I know exactly where they are, thanks. I wouldn't if I were them.